Hi guys, welcome. Scatlink here. We're off for another update video to the channel, which we haven't actually had in a while, dedicated at least, because not much has been happening. It's been the same thing every time, other than the anniversary video that we had talking about channel memberships, where, you know, instead of going through Patreon, you can pledge here, basically, and you also get some nice little bonuses for live streams premieres here. Mostly premieres, because I do my live streaming around at Twitch. Which we do have other stuff to the soundboard as well now. You can use channel points for, I'll mention that out right now, since we're talking about it. But yeah, that anniversary video that we talked about also was obviously about the anniversary live stream being board streams, which, you know, Twitch once again botched the connection between the streaming software and Twitch. I don't know what happened there. It happened before with pretty much our last episode of Sumo Brothers 35. Yeah, that was a bit of a mess. I'd also like to thank Slayer, Shadowbounds14 and Capadaman for starting that off, considering that Super Mario Party, well, Nintendo being Nintendo, can't get servers correct. Anyways, what's the update video today about? So, this just in. We have a couple of extra things going on at the moment. We have a new channel, we have upgrades for this channel, or, well, hardware side of things, which, once I've edited the backlog of stuff that I have, which I haven't got to yet because a lot of stuff's been happening, which this upgrade in itself has kind of slowed things down when it's supposed to speed things up. Life and such and work and, you know, the other channel that I just mentioned is getting in the way of things. So we need to pick that up a bit. That's the reason why we haven't had a lot of stuff in the pipeline in terms of videos, but I'm getting there. Please be patient. I'm trying. Please. And I'm just adding more work to myself making this video. But I need to actually spell this stuff out because, funnily enough, this video is roughly 3 weeks late. But both for the channel announcement as well as the upgrade announcement for this particular channel. So, let's begin. First of all, we have a new channel that you can click in the corner right here in order to go to it right now for the YouTube archive. We now have a new Twitch and YouTube collaborative channel called The Nerd Herd. This is a collaborative channel pretty much encompassing all of our friends in the group, which we have coined as the Nerd Herd over the years. And since we're all based in Britain, it doesn't really matter what time zone in terms of us meeting up is. It's mostly our schedules of life, as well as, you know, scheduled live streams to do throughout the week. As I said, this just in is a new segment where we talk about the schedule for that particular week. Normally happens on a Monday, 8 PM currently. It could change in the future. We also talk about the recent gaming news and, as the time of this video is being made, E3 presentations, because E3 has been dormant for a year. Gee, I wonder why. Now, I realise that the lack of videos also probably stemmed from before Shadow Man Remastered, where I was, like, pretty out of sorts during April. This was actually being worked in during April, and, you know, I wasn't in the right frame of mind, but once we got past that, which I coin as my quarter-life crisis, we pretty much put this schedule in place so that we've got a regular stream of content going up on Twitch, and then it gets archived to YouTube, either in the form of actual archives trimmed down by me on YouTube, since I handle that sort of thing. I'll get into the credits in a moment. And when it comes to potential live stream highlights, that'll be done by the Wilfons. Main host so far has been Kazoo, and occasional host has so far been either Old Viking and Sublinkario at the time of this video, must stress that. So for those involved, as well as those credited toward the creation, we have the Nerd Herd term itself, coined by, well, the founders, myself and Kazoo, followed by the man of many names. Reese, Space Kitsune, Monospace, Merc's Vlog, and Matsu Kitsune.
He's also the
Celestial Fox Rin. And what one did you say?
The Phantom Thieves, because he's a filthy
Persona
weeaboo.
Freaking 7 names! Obviously, Kazoo's brother, which is Kazuo Kisake on YouTube, that'll be Daxter Kisake, as well as my brother, Master Aaron. The channel idea for archiving as well as live streaming was brought up by Old Viking. All the graphics done for YouTube and Twitch were made by Sublinkario. Kazoo handles the Twitch side of things while I handle the YouTube side of things. If we have any live stream highlights that may need to be edited, Wilfons has offered to do some video editing for it as well. We also have Stella Chondrite, Connor Measure, and Schmulbean. If you haven't seen me streaming recently, it's mostly because I've been on the Nerd Herd channel. But on the Twitch channel, my Twitch channel auto-hosts that as well, so if that is happening, you can join in through that anyway. And of course, on the Discord, we have pings on going out, check social media, because we share those out as well. So just keep an eye out. Watch this just in, at least the first bit. I put timestamps in so you can click to the point that you need. You can follow the schedule there, so you know what's coming out on that week. Speaking of collaborations, PokeMMO has returned. Kazu has been moving his outside of the action onto the Nerd Herd channel, so if you're wondering why he hasn't been uploading on his YouTube channel, because he's been archiving his live streams there because he wanted to, that's now been moved over to the Nerd Herd channel. The first 2 episodes are still on his, but any further ones are on the Nerd Herd one, but they're all still in a collective playlist. He's probably going to add the other one to his own playlist anyway, similar to what we did with Blaze-Star Gaming, remember that? So, something like that, to that effect. But on the channel front page itself, there is actually a Pokemon segment, so you can check out either his playlist, my playlist, or Sibling Kario's playlist, which she's been archiving, or edited archiving her live streams as well, so you can see her side of the action. Reese hasn't actually been archiving his, so again, it's not a requirement. That's why we dropped that in the first place. Whoever wants to stream and whoever wants to archive, they can do so. I've been editing mine down in episodes because that's kind of how it was to begin with, and, you know, I like my editing style, so, you know, chops it up to more nice little bite-sized pieces, and breaks up it a bit. I don't like chucking up archives all the time. I did that for Super Mario Bros. 35 because I wanted to capture as much as possible. Obviously, some of it was edited because some of it got messy, but we shouldn't have that anymore. Also in the collaborative department, but a little bit further away from the Nerd Hood, although he has been featured in stuff like Pixelmon and PokeMMO, Capanda has put together another Ocarina of Time randomizer. That's our second one for this particular channel, but it is a freeway between him, Sibling Kario, and I. The first episode is already on the channel. There'll probably be a link right here as well, as you can see the first thumbnail here. He used my mug because I got so much swag! Yeah, but it's our second randomizer for Ocarina of Time on the channel, and the only thing I've really contributed to the project is just the end card. All the graphics as well as all the videos have been edited by Capanda, except for one video which I'm going to edit myself. I've requested to do that because it was a little bit of a mess, but I'm not going to tell you which episode is that. But he's pretty much editing the majority of it anyway. All of it is done by him, so appreciate Capanda by go checking out his channel. When I've been pointing up here, I probably linked his first episode instead of mine, so show him some panda love, as it is coined as on his Twitch. Maybe earn a few bamboo sticks by watching his Twitches or something, I don't know. So as with normal collaborations, even though all of our action from all 3 of our screens is on one screen with a nice little border, as I mentioned, edited by Capanda, all episode 1s are on all 3 of our channels, but as it goes onwards, basically, first episode is with Capanda, second episode is with Sibling Kario, third episode is me, and then so on and so forth until we actually finish the game. If you watch the first episode, we actually go into what is actually randomized. We have a couple of Master Quest dungeons in there. We do not have Key Sanity, but we do have Cow Sanity. We also have Shop Sanity at affordable prices, which includes the Deco Scrubs, so we're going to have to hunt around in order to find some stuff and make the money in order to get what we need. I did say that sometime on the channel we would do another Ocarina of Time randomizer with extra features. I wasn't intending to do it this way through ModLoader 64, where we can actually play as different models instead of just Link, but this is what ended up happening, and it was a fun time. But it was a bit of a challenge to not only get to making this, which is what a lot of off time has been about as well, because it was quite a challenge, but it was also a little bit dubious getting through as well, so I hope you enjoy seeing the shenanigans that unfold. With the upgrades that we have got coming up, I will mention that after this particular segment, we are going to be going back to A Hat in Time to do some more mod showcases, because I can now record in 1080p 60. How do I do that with the Roxio? Well, I use OBS, but when I use OBS, the game I can't play even at 720p without losing frames, because that's what happened with the very first episode. I had to output my laptop to well, my dad's all-in-one, sitting around here actually, basically turning my laptop into a glorified computer so I could use my dad's less powered all-in-one so I could actually record it optimally at 1080p 30, and you know, it would run smoothly at 30, and that's what the Roxio would take, so that was my limit. So how am I doing 1080p 60 with OBS if I can't capture in 60? That's where the upgrade comes in. Come here, you. Look at that. New PC! No, that is not the same one that I had before I actually went to, you know, this old thing. This thing is still got its worth. I've had this for pretty much 7 years now, but its specs have, you know, aged, of course, and it was time for an upgrade, and you can't really upgrade laptops really easily, so I did actually want to get a PC tower so that if, you know, any new graphics cards come along, I can pop that in there and it would work a lot better. That was the idea, but this thing isn't going to get phased out because it's still decent for portable use. I can still record at 1080p with this at least, but I couldn't live stream 720p 60 with the Roxio, even though I can record 720p 60 with the Roxio with its own software, mind you, because the hardware of this system itself was not, well, up to snuff, and that was holding me back. The best I could do was play games on the system at 720p 60 and then hope that it doesn't drop frames when I try to stream or record it, or do both, play, live stream and record. This thing can. This thing, if you've seen my Twitch channel recently, you may have seen 2 tests. I did a Hat in Time at 1080p 60, and even though the bitrate was a little bit worse for wear, it didn't drop a single frame. OBS said nothing. Didn't come out as Twitch. It was smooth. It's just the bitrate, but the recording quality was at a higher bitrate. I watched it back, not a single drop frame. I can record, play and live stream at 1080p 60, and that's with all of the bonus effects that Hat in Time has to offer. I turned a lot of them off for the Let's Play and it didn't actually look much different, but we can have all those bells and whistles and have it smooth at the highest quality that, well, I normally capture at, because I don't have a 4K monitor or a 4K method of capture. Once again, keep in mind, I've had this for 7 years, so it was time for an upgrade, and so far my videos recently have been edited on this, but the latest video that I have actually properly recorded on this was the Pokemon stuff, but the quality is not really different. It's still 720p 60, mainly because, again, the HUD's scaling isn't the best, and I don't like it when it's the base size when it's 1080p. So I purposely recorded it at 720p, 60 frames, so, you know, it's more presentable in my opinion. However, because, you know, with other stuff like hashtag free game, I haven't done that in ages, I did actually have a couple of free games sent to me through key codes, through email, from developers. The problem is that I haven't made any videos on that because every time I try to record it, the game is chugging, and I don't know why. Is it because it's a beta or alpha build? Is it because of my hardware? I clock it down to the worst settings available. I even try to clock down my recording software. It still plays in the exact same manner. So I don't know if it's my hardware or if it's the game. And I don't want to be making judgments or giving my opinions when, you know, I don't know what is causing the problem, and that may impact the game as a whole. There was this one game that was like a 3D dungeon crawler that was actually like advertised as like, if you like a Hat in Time, you might like this. That also has a bit of dating sim in there. I tried to get through the tutorial level. I couldn't make jumps because the frame rate is so bad. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't even remember what the game is, and that demo is not available anymore because that was a limited time, and I was doing it on the final day as well. I could not figure out how to get it running. I clicked down to the worst settings. I needed better hardware, and I'm probably not going to go back to the ones I've already asked for codes for, because it's probably too late now. As I said with that castle one, I can't go back to that now. That also works well for a Hat in Time as well, because obviously when it comes to mods, they're not exactly optimized as much as the main game, and obviously modders do not know everyone's system power, so I need the extra oomph as well. Plus there is one mod pack that they did actually announce during their modding direct that I want to cover, and 60 frames is pretty much a necessity in order to, you know, enjoy that to the fullest. It's not required, but, you know, if you're going at high speeds, you want that smoothness. So, I'm going to put the specs of this on this side of the screen and the specs of the PC on this side of the screen, so you guys can see the major differences, as well as the price point, which I'll talk about in a bit, because it's kind of interesting. So, this laptop was, I'm pretty sure, if I'm reading the code correctly, was a quad-core i5 Intel processor. Of course it's i5, so it would be Intel. It was 6th gen, because it starts with a 6. Don't know what the 300's about, because that would insinuate i3 to me, but it was definitely an i5. At 2.7 gigahertz reading speed, 16 gig of RAM, and the NVIDIA GeForce 940M, that's what I was running on. And remember, Wilfon's pretty much pointed to this for me for PC Specialist, and it's the Cosmos 4 brand. It had a 512GB storage and running on Windows 8.1. Now, why did I not upgrade to Windows 10 when I clearly had this when they were doing the free upgrade? It was because that I only just had it recently. I was hoping to get Sony Vegas working before I, got and learned how to use Adobe Premiere Pro, which was during our Final Fantasy Let's Play. And yeah, it was just overall better because videos weren't taking forever to edit on my old PC model, which all I can remember had like an AMD dual-core processor. That's the only thing I remember seeing about the specs on that, because this was back when I didn't know anything about specs. Meanwhile, on this new PC, we have an octo-core i7 10th Gen Intel processor. We also have the usual 16GB of RAM. The graphics card, however, is a NVIDIA GeForce 1660 RTX. So we have power here, plus I have a Elgato HD 60 Pro, which is the card that plugs into the PCI slot, one of the PCI expansion slots, so that there is no lag at all, because remember, the conversion from HDMI to USB is about 1 to 2 seconds worth. No delay here, it's going to be flawless. And guess what? I haven't used it yet. It's been 3 weeks. I haven't had a chance to plug anything into this in order to test it out yet. I'm probably going to do maybe a test stream on like Kingdom Hearts 3 or something. That runs at 60, right? On the PS4 Pro, I'm pretty sure. So we might do that, or I'll find some other game that runs pretty smooth. Maybe one of those free games that they chucked up on a special service where they had about like 9 games up, including Horizon Zero Dawn and Ratchet & Clank. Anyways, we also have a 1TB hard disk drive worth of storage, which is double what the laptop had. But not only that, we also have a 480 GB SSD, which is mostly just for apps like Premiere Pro and all that, except for the media cache, which I've made move to the internal hard drive, the hard disk drive. And for the operating system, so it runs, it boots pretty much immediately. And we also have Windows 10 installed, so yeah, the operating system is actually, up to date and all that. But since I've already got Windows 8 on there, might as well have Windows 10 on here. Why would I go to Windows 8 again? Just go Windows 10. Now, you might realise the price, considering that, the laptop was about, like, 7-ish years ago. That was about £871. Because I live in the UK, remember, from PC Specialist. And PC Specialist, I believe, are international. And they basically, build your custom-built PCs from base, which this was the Cosmo 4, but right now they have the Cosmo 7. And obviously they have better hardware they can pop in there. So the Cosmos 4 is not available right now, but I think that's just the model of the case. So, you can build off of that. But that was £871 from then, from PC Specialist. However, this PC, now, for one thing, you've seen the case. I actually did try to build this very build, but with a cheaper case, on PC Specialist, and it came to 1,300 plus, and I'm like, that's a bit much, but at the same time, I'm trying to build a more up-to-date gaming PC, probably that much, but I've also been told, build it yourself, so, you save money, but because of the processor and graphics card shortage going on, again, probably due to the predicament we're in, I don't know how long I'm going to have to wait, and I already had to wait an additional 3 months in order to get this thing, so I went looking elsewhere, and I found Computer Specialist. Sibling Hario helped me find it, actually, while All Viking tried to build an AMD specific build on PC Specialist, while the Wilfons helped me build the, the Intel version of this build on PC Specialist. The difference was like 30 quid, so it didn't really matter really on that. So we tried looking elsewhere to see if we could find a better deal. We found Computer Specialist that, yeah, sold this thing for like 1,029, which is ridiculous, but that's not what it says down here. It knocked 50 quid off upon checkout, thank you honey, with a voucher code. I said 50 quid, and you know what else? Look at this picture. I got all this with it as well. Okay, not a monitor. I don't need a monitor. That would probably be a decent, thing that they cannot obviously chuck in along with. But they gave a keyboard with mouse that glow along with the case, which, by the way, is a more expensive case than the base one that I was going with PC Specialist. at a higher price point. 2 mouse mats that I'm not going to use because it's just advertisements. I'm not actually using the mouse, I'm using the keyboard, which will show up in a bit, because the mouse feels horrendously cheap, which is why it's a pack-in. The keyboard does a little bit as well, but it does feel nice, so I'm using that, so I'm just using my Logitech mouse as an offset. And we also had another pair of headphones, which is actually Computer Specialist brand, which I haven't tested yet. Don't think I need to. I still got my Sony ZX 310s, I think they're called, or 110s, and the only problem with them is that, you know, the leather on the foam pads is worn off, and they still work flawlessly. But yeah, I got that at a pretty good deal without needing to pay for any delivery charges, and they're actually based in the UK, so maybe that's why they were cheaper, because it was more local. They don't have to account for postage prices or anything like that. They were located in Birmingham, actually. And not only that, but the website was eerily similar in design to PC Specialist as well, although I did not get it from their website. They didn't actually have this particular deal on their website. They've actually expanded into eBay, similar to how Amazon have like some big high-up names like PowerA, and obviously Nintendo, Sega, blah, 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 blah. They have special deals on eBay as well, like specific builds, and this build was one of them that Sublinkario found for me. I built it, and I was mulling over it for a while, and I was like, you know what? Just over 1,000, I can do that. It's not 1,300, and then I save up another 50 quid on checkout, and I'm just like, I've hit the jackpot, especially since that, funnily enough, they had all the graphics cards available for this particular build as well. I checked a couple of others that had a slightly better processor. I think this is the F, where they had like a KF or something. Had slightly higher clock speed. I didn't say that. This is a 2.7 gigahertz in comparison to the 2.3 gigahertz that my laptop has. And yeah, they had not only the processor but the graphics card with it, and considering that we're in a shortage right now, and they obviously pre-build and test it before they send it to you, whack the mic, it was a bargain. And again, I did not realise I would save 50 quid. I have to stress that, I didn't realise I would save 50 quid. That's insanity. So, yeah, any videos you're going to see, I mean, I can even, as you've seen with live streams, I can live stream at 1080p 60 now. At least with software on the system, but if we've got the built-in Elgato as well, I'm pretty sure that we can stream 1080p 60 with consoles as well. Definitely record them, but again, I'm going to have to experiment. So, I haven't got anywhere there at the moment. I was debating on showing some footage for this video, but as I've done before, I just do like a video on another game just to have some fun. I'll do that as a test, so that'll probably be what we'll be doing with 1080p 60 testing, maybe through the PS4. That makes the most sense. And we might be able to actually stream Dead by Daylight. It actually runs smooth for me, but obviously this is with high settings. Don't know if I need to clock it back down, but then again, this is a pretty well recommended graphics card in there, so I would assume I wouldn't have to do too much, considering that I don't tend to play a lot of very graphically taxing games that are AAA, really powerful on the PC at very high resolutions. I don't have a lot of games on the PC, I'm mostly a console gamer, but it gives me the power in order to do that, and, you know, rendering as well, it probably goes a lot smoother. So, but obviously to get a better perspective, I did actually record a little bit of a video, which pretty much shows all of the glowy little features of the LEDs, all of the modes, including the keyboard. So let's swap to that. So here is my new PC rig. My new gaming / recording rig, and you've got some nice LEDs that glow up. In fact, the keyboard does it too, but the buttons for this is just this one here. It replaces a window button, and it's actually an American one because the @ symbol is not on this key, it's actually on number 2. But anyway, I digress. It's a solid colour, and it goes between red, green and blue across, mirrors it, or it's inverted, I think, so it's purple, blue and yellow, or you got off. So you got those 3 settings. With here, you've got this strip, which just goes through, but there's a little button on the reverse right here. And if I hold it, it turns the light off. If I press it again, it turns it back on. So we've got different settings here as well. So we got slightly longer strips, and it removes the colour, I think. It goes a bit faster through those colours. Then we've got like a pulsating whitish purple. Then we've got solid colours. Not solid colours, it fades between every colour. So I'll let that run for a bit. Alright, we're back to red. So I'll click it in again. Then we've got like pulsing in every colour singular. I don't know the difference of that one. Then we've got solid red, solid green, blue, it's like a sheet of slate, white, yellow, you probably can't tell due to the contrast of the camera, light blue, purple, and then we're back to that point. So that's all of the modes of my little PC casing. This came pre-built in, and the keyboard came with a mouse as well, but the mouse feels even cheaper and tackier than the one that was than the keyboard. The keyboard's at least a bit better, and it sounds alright when you use it. So that is my PC rig. So, to wrap up, we have another substantial upgrade to the channel, which is a long time coming, to be fair, because we've been running on the Roxio for so long on the same laptop hardware that we've been working on for quite a while. It was due for an upgrade, and I really wanted an upgrade. I wanted to play my games at higher quality, I want to record at higher quality, and, you know, I feel like I stagnated a little bit, and I also think I need to rein back a little in planning projects, because either, you know, delays which are out of my control, or I'm just not in the mood to go through the weapon list, even though I really want to do that for Kingdom Hearts 358. I still want to do that, so that ain't going to be, you know, stopped. I've actually started on a character now. I've started on Xemnas, that's fun. But it's like, I need to probably go a little bit more basic. I could probably even go back and try Zelda Ancient Stone Tablets again. Do that as a live stream. Considering that we're doing a lot of live streams, I could also probably do some nostalgic trips on some old PlayStation games that I probably wouldn't dedicate a full Let's Play to. I'll just make a nice border. Or maybe I'll just pick a game out of my library that I actually know pretty well and go back to the old style of how I pick games that I actually do know well, Donkey Kong 64, and then I could just boot it up and play it. In fact, hell, I didn't do a lot of research for Kingdom Hearts 1 and for Final Mix, and yet I did that pretty well. So, and that was one of the longest series on my channel as well, and had a lot of interaction in between videos. So, or maybe another blind series. I mean, we've got Pokemon in the pipeline again. We've got Shadow Man Remastered. Obviously, this Halloween coming. We've got a second coming. Yeah, and obviously we've got collaborations as well up at the butt. So, like I said, I'm still elsewhere. It may be quiet around here. I'm still getting videos out. Hell, I've even gone back to Majora's Mask 3D for Patreons, because I know you guys have been waiting for that. I need to be more better on that, but, you know, I'm getting there. So, I'm going to have to get this video out, and then I'm going to have to get editing as well, because we have a Hack in Time Challenge road to do, as well as a few other mods that I want to cover. So, with that, guys, I'm going to get editing. See you guys for those videos.